Hong Kong's new security law has triggered an exodus of pro-democracy activists from the city. Nathan Law, one of the most prominent pro-democracy voices in Hong Kong, announced that he had fled the city to escape persecution. Law had been heard shouting, "Liberate Hong Kong," in a video message to the US Congress. As per the new security law, a person can be prosecuted for this chant. Nathan Law has not disclosed his current location out of fear of being targeted by Beijing. He urged the world community to stand up to China and promised to carry on his fight from his new residence.
It's a growing giant country that pays no respect to the human rights of its people. So I think the future is grim. But I think for the past year, we saw the unity of Hong Kong people, and we saw changes. And seeing such a large amount of people sharing the same values with you and conquering all the difficulties, supporting the values that they treasure with high price. And that is something that makes you feel hopeful, even though there's like a spark in the darkest time.
Many like-minded activists have started applying for expedited UK citizenship. There is also talk of a parliament in exile. Pro-democracy activists are planning to form a shadow parliament for Hong Kong to keep the hopes of democracy alive. People convicted under this law are disqualified from standing for elections in Hong Kong. Many activists who were planning to run for local office may now be barred from doing so.
The shadow parliament can send the very clear signals to Beijing and Hong Kong authority is that actually the democracy need not to be based on the mercy of Beijing and need not to be complied with the constitution or order system, because the people are losing hope that the Beijing or the authorities can live up the promise to let the people, they can get one person, one vote to run to elect their representatives and even their leader.
Hong Kong police have now charged the first person under the new security law. According to the police, the 24-year-old man has been charged with 1 count of inciting others for secession and 1 count of terrorist activity. The US Congress, meanwhile, has cleared the Hong Kong Autonomy Bill that aims to impose sweeping sanctions on Hong Kong. It is unclear whether Donald Trump will sign the bill into law, but there is bipartisan support for strong action. The new bill aims to target banks that deal with Hong Kong's government and other violators of the city's autonomy.
That's right. This is another example of what will be seen as a high-profile blow and a high-profile concern to the pro-democratic movement here. Nathan Law, alongside Joshua Wong, another very high-profile figure in the international community pushing for more democracy here. The two of them had been championing this Demosisto political party that had been pushing for more pro-democracy rights in Hong Kong. Nathan Law now says he's left Hong Kong entirely after testifying to the US Senate Foreign Affairs Committee about his concerns regarding this new law. Joshua Wong, meanwhile, telling me a couple of days ago he's not willing to take any interviews at the moment. He's withdrawing from public-facing political life and now focusing most of his energies on online political campaigning instead. The other big concern, aside from these two individuals here, for the pro-democracy camp is that there are actually due to be Legislative Council elections, as you mentioned earlier, here in September. Now, before this new national security legislation came into place, the opposition parties who are representing the pro-democracy voices in the legislative chamber in Hong Kong were actually looking at this September election as a chance to really make some serious gains, because back in November of last year, during the more local district council elections, the pro-democracy parties had a landslide victory, basically off the back of months of anti-government protests here with regards to the Hong Kong government's extradition bill. So there was hope that after those local election victories in November, come this September, there would be an ability to turn that into more serious gains in the legislative chamber. But that now looks like it's going to be very difficult. Analysts and judicial experts saying that it's going to be very hard for pro-democracy political figures to campaign and even potentially run at all in those September elections.